This video is brought to you by Rhino Shield, the world famous case maker with everything from funky designs to class leading impact protection to attachable camera lenses, enabling some stunning photos. To find out more, click the link in the video description. This is the Razer Phone 2, a device that a good friend of the channel, Damien Wild, has lent to me for the past couple of weeks. Very few phones these days give me mixed feelings, but this one did, and today I'm going to explain those feelings and why I felt them, all whilst evaluating whether you should still buy this device in 2019. Hey guys, my name is Ryan Thomas, and this is my Razer Phone 2 review in 2019. It has to be said, this phone really does feel like an OG 2016 device, and in a good way, actually a very good way. The 16:9 aspect ratio, squared off corners and chunky bezels are welcome design perks here for me. Sure, it does make handling the device a little bit more tricky since the ergonomics are traded for an edgy premium industrial design, but it does feel super premium thanks in part to that smooth and glossy glass back, but also thanks to the heft. It feels incredibly robust. IP67 weather resistance is present too, which surprised me since the large speaker grills up front leave massive ingress points. Other reviewers' complaints about the volume buttons confuse me because these feel just fine here, but the lock button cum fingerprint scanner should not be flush like this one, and equally should be able to be used with a touch to unlock instead of a press to unlock. Whilst a micro SD card slot is included, the obvious lack of a headphone port just seems poor since the Razer phone's market is gaming focused. That said, speaker quality and volume is top notch, so colour me impressed with that. This design certainly won't tickle everyone's pickle, and compared to the very smooth and curvy designs we see in smartphones such as from Samsung and from Huawei, this one is the complete opposite. Very harsh, but I feel like those subtle design improvements, such as the RGB logo on the back, do add up to create almost a balancing point. It's not going to be to everyone's taste, but I like that. I like the fact that we have different options for different people. On paper, this thing is an absolute beast. A 5.7-inch Quad HD 120Hz IGZO IPS panel in a very familiar 16:9 format. But it didn't wow me like my old PC high refresh rate display did. Maybe it's what I do on my phone, or maybe I'm just used to using panels with upwards of a 90Hz refresh rate. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a massive improvement over the outgoing 60Hz panels that we see everywhere, and you'll feel an unbelievable difference, but the fact that this is an LCD holds an otherwise wonderful display back in my opinion. Sharpness, colour accuracy and viewing angles are all stellar and look great, with contrast and outdoor brightness being the biggest pitfalls. The times in which you'll find this 120Hz display to be a real advantage is really when scrolling and when browsing through applications with a lot of animations, and not so much in games. High refresh rates make whatever you're using feel a lot faster than it otherwise could be because it feels so much more responsive and snappy. Overall, the display is fantastic, and for gamers it's going to be even better as long as you're using the supported games, but in my opinion, I prefer a well-calibrated 60Hz OLED. This phone isn't directed at me. Mentioning speed there, the spec sheet is pretty fleshed out with 8GB of RAM, 64GB of storage, a last gen Snapdragon 845, an Adreno 630 GPU, and Android 9.0 Pie with a super lightweight skin. General performance is still super snappy and will feel better due to that speedy display. Hangs, lag, crashes, none of that was really present in my couple of weeks with this device, and gaming was naturally a breeze. My two favourite games to play were Real Racing 3 and Super Mario Run, both of which were supported by that 120Hz panel, and I guess I was just expecting great performance because it's marketed as a great gaming phone. This phone is very quick and should hopefully stay that way for a good couple of years should Razer support it in the software. The original Razer phone doesn't seem to have got to 9.0 Pi, and it's stuck on 8.1 Oreo, and that's a real shame, and could even foreshadow a similar situation with the Razer Phone 2 not getting Android Q in the near future. That's a real shame because the software is actually very nice. It uses Nova Launcher, as I'm sure you've all heard of, that uses basically not a skin at all, instead just a different launcher. It does have a few included applications and kind of a skinned layout, and some skinned applications, but overall it feels very light and unintrusive. Battery life varies with this device, as it does with every phone, but this one in particular due to its display. At full bore 120Hz refresh rate and at peak brightness, a full day is not what you're going to get, despite the 4000 mAh battery. If you're heavily gaming, using the camera a lot and otherwise putting a lot of strain on it, I mean, it's kind of what it's designed for, then a top up at lunch is definitely a must. Thankfully, quick charge 4 at 18 watts is available, and we even get fast wireless charging at 15 watts too. That all said, if you lower the refresh rate down to 90Hz and you use your device as a typical device, you might use it for social media, a little bit of gaming, and you're not using it super heavily, then you will get a full day out of the 4000 mAh battery. The cameras on this device are pretty poor by today's standards and would never really the phone's best features. For specs, we have a pair of 12 megapixel sensors on the back. With UHD 60p video support, one of those cameras utilises a telephoto zoom, and on the front an 8 megapixel selfie shooter resides in the speaker grille, with the ability to shoot 60p at full HD. Image quality I found to be okay. It didn't stand out at all, and every aspect of the picture, from sharpness to colours to realism to dynamic range, was all pretty average actually. In fact, I would go as far to say as that some of the videos I found there to be pretty poor quality. And I'd take something like a Pocophone F1, Pixel 3a, or even a first gen Pixel over this in terms of its shooters. Portrait mode is laughable, offering terrible edge detection and overall realism. However, the camera app itself isn't bad. It's pretty plain, but here's something you might not have realised. Look at that crop when you switch from 30 to 60p on the selfie camera. It's kind of shocking really. Okay, so the cameras were never going to be amazing, and to be honest, I can't dock the Razer Phone 2 too much for that because it was never marketed as a great camera phone in the first place. And with that, it kind of leads me to the conclusion: should you still buy the Razer Phone 2 in 2019? My answer surprisingly is going to be yes. I think it's a brilliant phone. I really like the way that it stands out from the crowd. You're not going around with a hole punch or a notch or anything like that. You've got a phone that feels very robust, feels very good in the hand. Maybe not quite as ergonomic as some of the newer stuff, and that might be kind of to its detriment, but to a lot of people want good speakers, a really fast screen, which will make a massive difference to the overall consumption of media, and a decent battery. All of that added to maybe someone who's a Razer fanatic who already has a few peripherals, and you've got a fantastic phone. At around £400 used, it puts it in the same kind of category as a OnePlus 6T, kind of mid-range, and of course you're going to get the same kind of spec as a OnePlus 6T with its 8GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, but with this you've got microSD expansion, you've got that super fast and high resolution display, you've got a bigger battery, and overall you've got more customization thanks to Razer Chroma. I like the phone and I recommend it to anyone who wants one, but just know what you're getting yourself into, and if you crave something just a little bit more simple, I'd go with a OnePlus 6T. And with that, it's time for me to go. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do like, dislike, comment and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. Also check out all my social media and other links, they'll be in the video description as always. I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons. Sorry I haven't been kind of praising you guys in videos recently, but as you can probably tell, I'm very tired and doing quite a lot at the moment. So hopefully when things settle down, we'll be able to get some more patron kind of style content out there, and hopefully we can grow that audience. I want to thank you all for your awesome support in this little transition over to Android Authority, which has been really fantastic by the way. It's good, things are going well, a bit slow, but that was kind of to be expected, and hopefully I can get some more content out to you guys. I'm trying to get out, say, 1, maybe 2 videos a week. I think I'm probably going to try and stick to 1 video a week and keep the quality up a bit because I'm creating videos and articles for AA. Anyway, with that rant over, my name's been Ryan Thomas, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.